Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Hope you guys are doing fantastic as always. You're rocking and rolling out there in this AI space and what's happening. That's my phone going off. But however, so starting the AI automation agency, right? There are a lot of different YouTube videos out there about AI automation and how to create an agency, and there's just so much information out there, right? So I really just want to give you guys, a beginner level of starting an agency. This is not for those who are extremely experienced and who already have agencies running, that have a lot more advanced techniques that are out there. This is just really for the beginners that are looking to, get their foot in the door, right? How do you start an AI agency? What is an AI automation agency, right? So there's a lot of different things and aspects that go into running an agency itself. And if you come from or have any history in the SMA, or any of the other agencies that people have been running out there, you definitely know, there's a level of, servicing, getting clients, having leads, filling up your pipeline, and then in fulfillment, right? So it's pretty much the same kind of format when it comes to AI agencies, but it's a lot simpler when it in I would say the fulfillment aspect of it, right? Because you have AI kind of running that side of it. So let's dive right into this presentation that I put together for you guys. Let me shrink my big head. I'll put myself up in the corner, right? Yeah, so starting the AI automation agency, just like I mentioned earlier, right? So, it involves strategic planning, mastering AI tools, demonstrating the capabilities, and delivering effective service models to deliver, the automation for that you're going to be delivering to these clients, right? So you want to start, what do you specialize in, right? So choose your specialty. Don't be a generalist. I mean, again, if you're now first starting out and you're just now getting into this, you definitely want to niche down, right? Are you doing or building an agency for small businesses? Are you doing it for real estate? Are you doing it for coaches and consultants, right? Try to figure out where you want to specialize in. You don't just want to be doing a general agency. It never works out well, and it's really hard to get clients, right? Because when you're showing case studies to these clients and you're pitching them, or whether you're doing emails to get leads, people want to feel like, okay, I need this right now, right? This is relevant to me. Not this is, yeah, I have a coffee shop and you're doing this for a tire shop, right? That's two different things. Number two, you want to master, your automation tools. Some say you need to master it. I mean, if you want to become experienced in this field, right, and you see yourself doing this 5, 10, 20 years down the line, I mean, I know I'm exaggerating, right? 20 years. So there's going to be so much different things. But 5 to 10 years, then learn the skills that you need to learn, right? But there's some people who run agencies and all they do is master getting leads, because then they have somebody else who does fulfillment. Right, so you have that give or take too. You have those options, but definitely you want to know how it works, right? Number three, build a portfolio of clients that you already had, because this is going to build accountability, trust, authenticity, transparency, all the things that's going to make people want to come to you and get your services. And number four, you want to deliver a service model, right? The service model is what you want to define service offerings. So that's choosing from consulting, project-based builds, developing SaaS products, right? Or a hybrid approach where you can kind of put the two together, right? So these are all options that you are going to be able to have and that you can choose from. By the way, you're going to be able to get this presentation, so you'll be able to have it on hand, right? So as you already know, it starts first and foremost. What it always says: find your niche, right? Like it's so much. It's so cliche. Find your niche, right? And I know a lot of people are like, oh, how do I find my niche? Go to ChatGPT, right? Go to Gemini, go to Copilot, go to Grok. Like, ask AI, tell it all of the things that you're interested in, and it will spit out some of the niches or some of the industries that you could potentially enter, right? Don't get so caught up with just the small things, right? Because there's really so much other things and so many other hats that you're going to be wearing when it comes to building your business. So don't get so caught up in the fine print, right? Even though the devil is in the details, but don't get so caught up with it. You can definitely find your niche, right? It's the crucial first step, right? Because this helps you understand who you're going to be offering your services to. Is it going to be to the real estate industry? Is it going to be to e-commerce? Is it going to be to other marketing agencies, right? You need to define exactly who you're going to be pitching your services to, because this is going to help you craft when you're doing your outreach, right? Who you speaking to. right? I help XYZ. I help deliver XYZ for XYZ, right? Who is XYZ? It has to be specific. Always want to be specific. Narrow down, your prospects to who you're looking for, your avatar, right? So just like I was mentioning, finding your niche, there's some of the action steps is, take a moment to really list, the industries you're familiar with, right? And for each, identify three representatives, right? Three repetitive time-consuming problems, right? So once you find your niche, now it's to find a problem, because what you're going to be doing with this agency is solving a problem, right? Most business problems is leads. Every business want more leads. Every business want more customers. So that's what I'm saying. You don't want to be a generalist. So if you want to bring in leads for real estate agents, then you could just focus on that and become an expert in that field, or for e-commerce, or for, fill in the blank, right? So you want to find out what is the biggest problem, like what is that bottleneck that everybody's encountering in their industry that you and your AI automation agency is going to come in and solve for them right away, right? So and you want to write all that down. And if you encounter any problems, like I mentioned, go to any one of these AI services, right? Go to Claude AI and just ask it some of the questions. It will be able to give you kind of a 3,000-foot view. I mean, it's not going to give you anything exact, but it will be able to give you something that you can start to work with, right? Build your AI arsenal, right? So that's going to be the next step. So what's your AI arsenal? Okay, now this is where you know who you're helping. Okay, you've got your niche now. You understand your industry and their problems, and some of the things that they're looking for. So now you want to build your AI arsenal, right? So you want to integrate on the platforms that you're going to be using. There are a number of different platforms out there. I highly recommend that you do some research yourself, right, of some of the platforms that are out there, right? But the integration platforms, because these are going to be the tools that are the glue that holds everything together, right? It allowing different applications to talk to each other. That's a big thing with AI, right? You want applications to talk to each other, because one can be the trigger, and then it just does a domino effect once they talk to each other, right? It will be able to be cohesive all the way around, right? Then you have your AI models. This is what I was mentioning earlier when I was saying, there's so many different AI platforms, right? Again, you have ChatGPT, you have Grok, you have Copilot, you have Claude AI, you have Gemini, right? And there's so many more coming out. That's just a few at the top, right? So you want to be able to find out which AI model, which LLM, large language model, you're going to be using to operate all of the sequences that you're going to be filling it with, right, for your agency. And you want to have specialized AI tools, right? Utilize purpose-built AI solutions for specific needs, such as sentiment analysis. Maybe I'm saying it wrong. Yeah. Segmentations, transcriptions, data extractions, enhanced automations, all of those things, right? So you want to be able to have all of those in play so that you're able to, again, make them all talk to each other. You're building your arsenal, right? You're going to do research. You're going to find out, okay, what are the tools out there that I need? What are the tools that are going to be most beneficial for my agency? These are going to be the ones that I'm going to be working with, right? Your primary job is to become a master orchestrator of these tools, right? This is what an AI automation agency owner does. You are the master orchestrator of all of these tools. That is your primary job. That's why it's important for you to do your research. It's important for you to understand the platforms. It's important for you to, at least have a general understanding of how they all operate, right? You don't need to master everything. That was the era of mine when I was in SMMA, right, in the early days when Tai Lopez had, had that program out. I wanted to master everything, but I took the long road. You didn't need to master it. All you needed to master and understand, most important, was sales. Sales, because sales is going to help you close the deals. Sales is going to help you understand lead generation. Sales and marketing. That's something that is huge. That's a huge part of any agency in itself. Right, everything else, you can outsource and have everybody else, not have everybody else, but have others who are more experienced in those spaces conduct those, and utilize those tools. Right, so you'll learn how to string them all together to create seamless, automated workflows. So start by picking one problem from your niche that we did in earlier research. right? And build out a simple solution using these tools. So this is where everything starts to come together, because again, once you know all of the problems, once you know the problem you're going to be solving, you'll be able to craft your messaging will all work in cohesiveness, right? When you're called to pitching for clients. So selling your solution, right? Okay, we got our niche, we know the problems, we have our AI arsenal, the tools that we're going to be using, right? And that we're going to be the orchestrator of. Now it's time to sell. This is what I was mentioning about sales and marketing. So this is where this comes into play, right? So you found your niche, like I said, you've built your tool. Now let's talk about the most crucial part, right? That's selling your service, right? So like I mentioned earlier, if you know exactly, who you're selling your services to, it just makes it so much easier for you to craft your approach. The wrong approach, right? I can use AI to automate your lead generation. For who? For what? When? Like it's so many, it leaves so many questions, right? That you're going to be sitting there doing so much objection handling when you're talking to these clients. So solve all that, all those objection handling earlier on, right? My coach told me that I've learned, I'm still in coaching, when I'm doing sales and stuff, because I love to learn and I love to continue to grow professionally. So, he mentioned that, if you're messaging, that's your emails, that's your videos, that's your, the content that you're putting out. If your messaging solves 80% of objections that people are going to have when it comes to your services or your product, it makes it so much easier to close them, right? They already are, every objection that they may have in their head, is this for me? Can I do this? Are they trustworthy? Will I be able to make some money from this? Is this a service that's viable for me and my family? Right? All those objections that they're going to have. Do I have enough money to get into this business? Right? There's a number of objections everybody has in their head, especially when they're thinking about getting into something. If you're able to solve those objections with your earlier forms of content that you're pushing out, you are literally solving 80 to 90% of the deal right there. That's closing 80 or 90% of the deal, because objection handling is usually, the area where people want to walk away from the table, right? So the right approach, I can help you get an additional 20 qualified leads per month. Let me get my big head out the way, without you or your team lifting a finger. Now that's amazing, right? Who wouldn't want 20 more leads, right? A real estate agent will want 20 more leads, right? An e-com business, if they're selling, they may want 20 more leads, right? So you're getting more defined into who you're specifying. And this can even go even more specific for your team, without your team lifting a finger, for e-commerce, for real estate, for, and I'm an expert in, right? So you can even get more niche and more granular in your approach if you just, put in who you're directing this offer to, right? Who you're targeting, right? So your pitch should focus on the pain points and the promised outcomes, right? People are paying for you to solve their pain, right? And the outcome of that, of you solving this pain, right? So talk about how your solutions will save them time, reduce costs or increase their revenue. Show them a tangible, something that they can see themselves, that's relatable to them, right? A demo of what you've already built, or who you've already done this service for, right? Which makes it so much easier. Again, if you're in a niche of real estate and you've already done services for other real estate agents, brokers, whatever may have you, then it's so much easier for you to get to fill that pipeline with continuous real estate agents, brokers, right? Because I'm already a master and expert in this space. So I can continue to show you showcases of competitors, other real estate agents that they may know, which is going to make them want to jump on board, right? So finding your first client by reaching out to businesses in your niche. You can do that with LinkedIn. You can scrape emails. There's a number of AI tools out there for that. You can do Google local leads. It runs some ads if you have any marketing budget, right? So there's a number of different ways. Don't think that it's hard to get leads. You can do Instagram, right? Or YouTube. Start creating content to be able to get leads. So there are a number of different ways. Just a matter of you kind of utilizing your resources, thinking outside the box. So scaling your agency. right? So after you land your first client and you're delivering a successful project, right? You land your first client, you deliver a successful project, excuse me, you're no longer just a freelancer, right? Now you're now an agency. I can't remember who says this quote, but the reason for a business is to get a client or serve a customer. Businesses only operate or in operations to serve clients or get a customer, right? I'm not saying it verbatim, but that's primarily the gist of it, right? You know, you're not opening the business just for yourself, right? No, you're opening the business so customers can either come in or you can get clients to service these customers, right? So after you land your first client, you know, you want to deliver a successful project, right? You want to create repeatable systems, right? That makes it so much easier. Again, this is where AI automation comes in. This is where AI is going to help you with a lot of those repeated, the documents, that everything, the onboarding, the documentation, the FAQs. AI is going to be able to handle that majority of that for you. Right? Training your team. Your team right now is going to be AI. So this is you training your models, right? So you're training all of these models to be able to talk to each other and handle a lot of the repetitive tasks that you would normally outsource to somebody else. Of course, you're going to need human assistance in some certain areas, but majority of the time, you're going to be utilizing AI. Right? You're gonna move to retainers. So retainers meaning which, you know, you're gonna have clients where you're not just doing one-offs, right? You're not just, okay, I'm gonna create you an AI agent that's going to, you know, get you leads. Okay, and that's a one-time fee, right? Of what, $2,000, $3,000, depending on how you're packaging that. Now you can have a retainer where, okay, now I created this. Now, in order for me to maintain it, you know, now you could put me on a retainer fee. So now I'm getting a monthly fee of, you know, fill in the blank, you know, $500, $250, $1,000, $2,000, you know, again, depending on the package that you have. $5,000, there's some agencies out there, you know, $10,000 packages, right? So it's just a matter of you understanding and your business model and what you're pitching, right? So agency types are service consulting, you know, product and SaaS, right? And they also have the hybrid types, the ones that, you know, have both of them. They do consulting and SaaS businesses. You know, an example of services, you know, workflow automation, right? You can create an AI agent that does workflow automation for them. An AI chatbot, you know, that handles all of their customer service inquiries, right? Or you can do a mixture of above, right? Again, the hybrid method where you could just have a number of different things working that you're doing that's the package that you're going to serve for these clients. Right? Then you have the revenue models, you know, that's the project, that's the retainer fee. Like I mentioned, you know, you get paid per project or you get paid per retainer because you're maintaining this project. You know, you can have a subscription where, you know, people are paying monthly, again, similar to retainers, where they're paying monthly to be able to access these tools that you have. They have licensings where you can license these SaaS products, you know, these tools out, and then they pay you for it. Right? You could do, again, a multiple number of meshing that together, a mixture of the two, maybe do projects and licensing, you know, and then you could do notes for, you know, best for customer bills, right? Okay, they just want you to build them one thing. Okay, I could build this out for you. And you can scale easily with majority of these business models, right? It's just a matter, again, of you understanding. Especially if you're a beginner and you're getting your foot wet into this, I definitely highly suggest go watch some more YouTube videos on it, right? Go watch some more YouTube videos on AI automation, on agencies, on, you know, some of the best agencies, some of the best agency tools, right? This is just it's gonna give you more well-rounded information that you're gonna need so that you feel much more confident, right? In what you're doing. I'm just really just a overview. So your AI agency journey starts now. Right. Okay. Now you're interested in AI agencies. I already walked you through the crucial components of, you know, finding your niche, you know, understanding the AI, understanding the problems that you're going to be solving, understanding the AI models that you're going to be utilizing, your tools, your arsenal, you know, what kind of packages you're going to be selling, right? Who's going to be in your team, you know, all of the major components that you need to build this. It's already here, right? So you really do have the foundation right here. So it's a matter of you just executing, right? So starting your AI agency is just, you know, really the forefront, and this is your journey. So it requires focus, right? It requires tools, and a clear understanding of the value you provide. What type of value are you providing? That's what's going to differentiate you from every other agency that's out there, right? So for those starting out who are really starting on a shoestring budget, Bootstrap, you can start as low as 50 to 500, right? Monthly tool budget, right? Because some of these tools you're gonna have to pay for. If you want ChatGPT, the full range plus, that's at least $20, right? And all of the other large models are kind of the same, right? And then you're going to need other tools, maybe like there are a number of different ones. I don't want that to go. This is going to be a whole nother video. I'll do it on a number of the tools that you can use and set up. I want this to just be focused on, creating the agency and it being the foundation, right? So branding investment, just you creating a professional website, your branding, your logos, the things of that nature, start from mere $200, all the way up to $2K. Right, a lot of this you can do for yourself, maybe using Canva. If you're a graphics designer and you understand how to do different things, you can do that. Excuse me. So also, your marketing budget. Definitely going to need this for, like I was mentioning, in order for you to get leads. Right, what are you going to be doing? You're going to be, maybe doing emails, scraping emails, and needing an email service provider. You have to pay for that, right? There's also doing Google local lead ads. You have to pay for that. So there are a number of different ones. You could do TikTok, you could do Instagram. There are a number of different ways. So but this is just a range so that you have an idea. Okay, if I want to get started with this is some of the investments that I need to have, right? It's important by following these steps, it builds your toolkit, sell the outcome and systemize the process, right? You can build a business that is not only profitable, but it's also future proof. Take that in, right? It's not just making money, but this is future proof. AI is not going anywhere, guys. So the more it grows, and if you get into it now, the better you're going to be equipped, right? Especially with the tools. So launching AI automation agency is most successful when it's focused on real business problems and demonstrates proven return on investment, right? ROI and efficiency for prospective clients. That's when they're most successful. So again, I'm going to give you this presentation. You'll have access to it. Go through it. Read everything. I'm giving you an overview. I'm not going to read everything word for word. That's up to you if this is something that you really want to do. You will always have access to this, right? So now it's just time for you to kind of go out there and build it. Right? Go out there and find your niche. Use ChatGPT, use a lot of the other AI models that are out there. Find out what are the biggest problems within that niche. Now ask it, what are some of the tools that I can use to create workflow automations, to create lead flow automations, to create, ask it. Use AI also to be able to build your business, right? I do that all the time. If I have questions or I'm going to AI, right? Majority of the time, it's going to give you answer the questions that you already have, right? Okay, so this is the presentation. I didn't want to make it too long. I think you guys already have a full kind of overview of what it's all about. Building your AI automation agency, right? And at the AI Vault, we're always going to be bringing you guys a lot of new and the latest AI innovations that are out there. AI is changing the game, guys. It's not taking jobs. It's enhancing your capabilities of the jobs that you already do, right? Change your perspective on that. Don't get caught up in the hype and all the media and all the nonsense out there. It's definitely going to be able to help change your lifestyle as well as millions of other people out there, right? As always, I hope you guys will keep rocking and rolling, and stay solid, stay dangerous.